tonight. And Georgetown controls the opening tip, and it's in the hands of K.J. Lewis.
Yeah, both teams have changed their defenses. You'll see a little man, little zone, little three-quarter court pressure. The team that handles that basketball the best will win this game tonight.
Malik Mack had 11 points in their opener Monday night against Morgan State, a 17-point victory. Deep in the shot clock. Halifa Nua got deep, count it. And Pharrell Payne is underneath him. That was deep position.
Yeah, Halifa Nua has done a tremendous job with his body. He's down almost 50 pounds. Did a great job of sealing on the inside. And able to use that added strength to finish that one over the top. An N1 opportunity here.
7-footer from New Zealand. Just 6 games last year before suffering a season-ending fractured ankle. But to your point, I mean, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
He lost to Ed Cooley, and he looks completely different. And a steal. Mack right at Del Pino. And Malik Mack will go to the line. Solid first 35 seconds for Georgetown.
Yeah, and that's kind of pressure that Maryland's going to see all night long from Georgetown. Their ability to be able to handle the basketball against that pressure is going to determine if they can win this game. And what a terrific job of quick hands there from Malik Mack.
Buzz Williams in his first year tonight, his first time in front of his crowd. They're inside the Xfinity Center. Malik Mack was outstanding at Harvard as a freshman. He is from the DMV, Oxon Hill, Maryland. Last year, nearly 13 points in the Big East.
Yeah, he was the Ivy League Rookie of the Year, and he came in and really established himself. He was the only true point guard on his team last year, so it allowed him to be able to make some mistakes on the fly, expecting a big season for #2 in black.
Again, there's that pressure. Elijah Saunders off the inbounds from the freshman Darius Adams. Highly recruited freshman out of Manchester, New Jersey. Committed to go to UConn, changed his mind, started in at 16 points in his debut in a win over Coppin State. Pharrell Payne with the spin and another turnover. Georgetown with numbers. Lewis ahead of the pack, and it's blocked. Andre Mills.
And folks, if you haven't seen Andre Mills, this kid gives it all. The last game, he had 2 rundown blocks, and he started the night off just when he left him in his last game. Oh my goodness, the timing to be able to block that shot out of bounds. Impressive.
Well, if you play for Buzz Williams, little things, effort, attention to detail, they got to be high on your important list. And well, he redshirted last year at Texas A&M, one of the 4 transfers who joined this staff here in College Park.
When you see Maryland put up 5 on the defensive end, that means they're going to switch 1 through 5. You got to get some dribble penetration and some slips.
Halifa Nua deep over Payne. Good defense, and it's going to stay here. Foul against the Terps. It is on Elijah Saunders. That is his first. But, you know, we were at both shoot-arounds today, and the MO from Georgetown and Ed Cooley was, we are going to be physical,
yes,
we are going to be aggressive, and we have seen that early in the first 75 seconds.
They have, and Maryland's doing a great job of switching all that action, so it's flattened them out, and so they're going to have to either get that basketball to the painted area by the pass to the post, or they're going to have to put their heads down and drive it, draw 2, and try to get some open shots on the weak side of the floor.
Well, and already 3 fouls on Maryland. Lewis all the way to the bucket. It's a 7-0 start for the Hoyas.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about. When you have heavy man pressure, you've got to drive the basketball. Good recognition there by K.J. Lewis.
He coyed into the ball game. The transfer from Kansas hit 3 triples the other night, quickly on the floor for Guillermo Del Pino. He's got the basketball and launches.
I'd like to see him get up and down the floor, get a little lather before he shoots that one.
That got deep. Lewis the extra pass. The swing to Abraham. Lewis the rebound. Georgetown dominant in the first 2 minutes.
Georgetown is just quicker to the basketball here early in this game.
And another steal. It must feel like they've got 20 hands on defense. kicked into the corner. Andre Mills wide open. Yeah, quick pace so far.
I love it.
Life and Noah got deep. Great pass in the find to Abraham.
Georgetown's doing a terrific job of taking advantage of the overplay from Maryland.
Man, Ed Cooley is fired up. His squad, an 11-0 start to the game here on the road. A great find from Halifa Nua and Isaiah Abraham, the transfer from UConn, on the finish. You know, LaFonso, Georgetown made some waves here in the last few weeks. Again, exhibition games, much different, scrimmages. But they went to Kentucky and won on the road. Started getting some people talking about Ed Cooley's squad in his third season, and I think you're seeing why.
Well, what he wanted to do is establish a really strong defensive presence with this group. And you can see the wings that he has. They're so much bigger this year. Caleb Williams, 6'7", 227 pounds, brought KJ Lewis in from Arizona, one of the best two-way defenders here in the country. And you've seen their active hands. You've seen their ability to keep the basketball in front. Georgetown defense has been absolutely sensational here early.
Well, what does Buzz Williams do on the other sideline? I mean, they've got to come up with something quick.
Well, what he's done is he's got some guys on the floor now that can really handle the basketball. We wondered when we'd see Miles Rice, and Miles Rice, a veteran who's been around, can handle that physicality. His ability to be able to make plays on the offensive end is going to be important for the Terps tonight.
He's on the floor along with Isaiah Watts, the masked man shooting. Another one and done. Georgetown's controlling the glass. Mack pulls. Miles Rice the board.
But that ball's got to touch the paint from Maryland. Way too many jump shots here early.
Whistle underneath. It's a foul called on Georgetown.
Yeah, that's against Caleb Williams, number 4 in black. They've been encouraged, the officials, to look for any of those straight arm little pushes, and that's exactly what he did there and caught on the baseline. That's a good call by the official.
Williams will go to the bench. Jaden Fort on the floor, the sophomore who redshirted last year. And the athleticism from Fort is just off the charts.
So you get 6-7 goals out of the game, and you get Jaden Fort at 6'9" coming into the game, and he may be a little longer. Nice.
Not by a bucket to start the ball game. Payne on the inside and a foul.
That's the first time Maryland has gotten a decent look in the painted area. And this is a team that's been built around Pharrell Payne. He's got to get touches on the inside to force that Georgetown team to collapse, and now you can get some open looks on the perimeter.
Pharrell Payne came on at the end of last year. Scored more than 25 in each of Texas A&M's NCAA tournament game. And he started right where he left off, Fonz. 21 for Payne in the opener. And you hear the boos. That is Deshaun Harris-Smith. The last 2 years, he called this gym his home floor. Transferred to Georgetown. We'll see how he plays. Talked to him today at shoot-around.
Yeah.
What are you feeling? Said mixed emotions.
I can imagine after being here for 2 years. But a great opportunity for him here in Georgetown. He's got to play under. He just got to be composed in this game and not allow his emotions to overtake him.
Abraham on the drive, 6 on the shot clock. Tough shot.
That was really good D by Turkson, able to cut off the initial drive, but that little spin allows you to be able to create some separation and get that shot off. Beautiful move.
It's the deep lob and Payne the finish, and that's exactly what you were just talking about. Get the ball inside.
Gotta punch the basketball inside. Every time down the floor, Pharrell Payne, number 21, goes, gotta touch the rock, preferably in the paint.
Oh, and his free throw shooting seems to be so much better, too. He hasn't missed yet. He's 11-11.
Indeed.
Including on Monday night.
Career 51% from the foul line coming into this season.
KJ Lewis on the pull-up. Payne collects and Coit is running. Turkson's trailing. Coit to the bucket. Turks have shoved out of bounds. So the foul starting to mount up for both squads early going. The pace is fast. The emotions are high, and Georgetown's playing really well in the open.
This could be a...
Man, I don't know why they stopped, but they should never. This should continue to, and you can feel the energy in the building, even with a young crew of students who may not have known the history of it. And man, this place has been electric so far.
About an hour and 40 minutes
Yes.
before this game got going. Walt Williams across the way, part of the Maryland radio broadcast team. He was part of those great ones there as well when they did play in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Last two matchups part of the Gavitt games, 2015 and 2016, so that's someone else telling you you're going to play.
That's right.
Credit these two schools for bringing this back for the next 4 years.
Indeed.
Payne has all 4 points for the Terps. Boyd switched off by the new big who's on the floor, Vinci Wachukwu. Knocked out of bounds, it'll go back to Georgetown.
Another jump shot without a paint touch. That basketball's got to get to the paint either off the drive or off the post, and then look for opportunities, because those step-in threes are a little bit easier to shoot than the ones that are the quality of the ones that Maryland's gotten so far.
Terps, to your point, we're 5 minutes in. They are already 0 of 5
Yes.
from beyond the arc. They're on pace to take 43 pointers tonight. Jeremiah Williams on the floor with the basketball. Around college basketball the last 2 years at Rutgers.
Yes.
Veteran, leader, good ball handler. Avon Mulready on the drive and stepping out of bounds. Deshaun Harris-Smith. That is just the first turnover, though, tonight for Georgetown.
Yeah, they've been really good with the ball, and what they've done so well is against that man pressure, they've been able to drive it, they've been able to get to the painted area and get on the glass as well. Impressive start for Georgetown.
Foul called on the shove in the back, and that was as Miles Rice was heading towards the basket. And again, that's going to be something this a little different this year in college basketball. More of a continuation. If the shot is going up or if you're taking the step there, that's going to be granted free throws more often than not this year.
Yeah, once the dribble is expired, you get one step, and that's usually where the contact is. And so a lot of opportunities for and ones here. I like the rule.
It's all part of that freedom of motion.
Yes, freedom of
benefits to the offense.
Indeed. Although I would like the 5-second call to be reinstituted defensively.
Have you talked to someone about that?
Yeah, denied.
I mean, we have important people in the building tonight. I think you could make a halftime visit.
We do.
Georgetown jumped out to an 11-0 lead. Maryland at the free throw line starting to climb back in. Harris-Smith trying to get a little bit of space. Iwachuku wants the ball. Mulready way off on a three. Harris-Smith, they didn't reset the shot clock, and it's a turnover. He saved it back in bounds, but way deep in the shot clock.
Yeah, Maryland's defensive intensity has risen about 3 decibels here, or levels here, and that's been the difference in this game. As Georgetown early on was able to get dribble penetration or throw the basketball inside. Maryland's doing a great job of keeping the basketball in front and not allowing themselves to get in rotation, which allowed Georgetown early to get on the offensive glass or get some weak side cuts to the basket. Well done here defensively by the Terps.
Payne got inside with a move, couldn't finish. Last touch to knocked out of bounds by the Hoyas. His first step right around the free throw line, whether it's a spin move or a drive, always so fast.
Yeah, and he has the ability to be able to change speed and change direction given his size. What he does is that once he puts it down, if you stop him, he spins. If you stay open, then he continues to the basket. And a missed opportunity there, but I'd like to see Pharrell Payne continue to be aggressive when he catches that basketball in isolation situations around the foul line or when he catches it on the post.
Rice triggers it in. Whistle and Payne traveled. So 4 turnovers for Maryland, 1 of 8 from the floor.
I just see Maryland play with a little bit more pace, too. When they can get Georgetown to miss a shot, they've got to look for easy opportunities to get out in transition as well.
I know it's hard, too. Georgetown's been on them from the moment they inbound the basketball.
Good recognition.
He is deep in the paint.
Yes. Iwachuku was open for about 5 seconds down there. And sometimes it takes your guards a little time to be able to recognize where the mismatch is, and they were able to find it and exploit it there. Well done.
Then one transfer last year at St. John's. First 2 seasons at USC. They have size in the middle, no question. A pair of 7-footers who can step outside.
Too deep.
Williams on the drive, off the glass. Batted around, loose ball, and Payne's got another rebound.
See after the rebound how slowly Maryland's bringing it up the floor. Now you allow Georgetown's defense, which has been stout here early, to set. And you don't want to play all night long against a set defense. You want to look for early opportunities. I'd like to see them push it a little bit more.
But by design, though, right? Slow to start.
Seems that way.
Watts triggers a triple. 0 of 6 to start the game. Lewis one-on-one, bulldozes Miles Rice, and an offensive foul.
Folks, that is incredibly hard to do. KJ's on a full sprint. Miles reads it and steps early and guesses correctly and able to absorb that charge. What a sick play there by Miles, and KJ Lewis looks like he's injured.
He's still down. Now, usually you think the person that's taking the charge takes the brunt of it. He is back up.
Yeah, may have caught him in the breadbasket here. But how about the anticipation there by Miles Rice? Yeah, just caught him a little corner. And sometimes when you get hit in the breadbasket, it's not instant that you go down, but then all of a sudden it sneaks up on you and you curdle over. Glad he's okay.
He'll get a breather. Over on the bench, the transfer from Arizona. Cooley said he's got a chance to be the best defensive player in the Big East. Foul on the way up, and then Abraham took a shot to the face after the play was whistled.
Now all of a sudden you have an experienced guard in Miles Rice with the basketball in his hands, and he's taken away completely the aggressive defense of Georgetown, because every time they reach and get up and in, he goes by. Man, he's a welcome addition to the offensive attack for the Terps.
Two in the backcourt the last couple of years, right? Jameer Young, couple of years ago. Jacoby Gillespie, who's now at Tennessee. They've had someone when the offense had gotten stagnant to finally get it going. I think that's part of the expectation for Miles Rice this year.
He gives them a different dimension.
Mack checks back into the ball game. Maryland 6 for 6 at the line.
Folks, Langston Love, number 13 in black for Georgetown. Transferred here from Baylor. Hasn't been healthy at all. Only 5 minutes in an exhibition game against Kentucky. If they can get him going on the offensive end, with his ability to be able to knock down the 3-ball, it'll open up so much for them offensively.
He's a career 39% shooter. It's a foul on Maryland on the rebound. And that will send us to a timeout. The pace that we had to start, probably not sustainable.
With Wisconsin rounding it out, and how about Purdue? I mean, my goodness. I mean, they have 2 of everything in their lineup, and they come out and they absolutely blitz their team in their opener. Michigan stout this year. UCLA's got a great front court and now good shooting. It's going to be a great year for the Big Ten.
Well, speaking of Purdue, I mean, Ed Cooley was telling us today how, he and Matt Painter says they call each other maybe 30 times a week. Tough turnaround, Caleb Williams. One of his best friends in the business.
He was telling us that he was trying to figure out some underneath out-of-bounds plays against teams that switch, and that's why he reached out to Painter, because Painter is really good in that phase of the game.
Painter, the coach of the preseason #1 team in college basketball. Down to 10 on the shot clock and another foul. And, you know, all the struggles for Maryland from the floor, Fonz. The good news, Georgetown's already in the bonus.
You got to keep driving it. Yeah, when you catch a team in the bonus that way, you've got to put your head down and try to get to the rack. And if you draw two, give it up. If not, just get to the front of the rack and try to draw a foul. And that's exactly what Mills did there.
13 points in his collegiate debut. Redshirted last year as a true freshman at Texas A&M. He had 1-1 here. And the Terps have started this game 7 for 7 at the line. They were 23 of 25, 92% on Monday night.
Puts even more urgency and emphasis on their ability to put it on the deck and try to get to the rack while they're in the bonus.
Man on cue. Now we'll see if Georgetown finds Langston Love. You talked about him right before the under-12 timeout. He had all kinds of injuries. He battled at Baylor. He's been dealing with more injuries here in his year at Georgetown. There's huge fusion here on the offensive end. Mack pulls up with 5 on the timer. Neither team has hit a 3.
Just that early push we talked about.
Love to the floor, fighting off a Maryland defender. And starts to push the other way.
Good patience.
Tough in the paint.
One of his emphasis this summer was to put on some strength, and you can see he's got a little bit more shoulder, a little bit more bicep, and that allows him to be able to create that contact and still finish through. Well done by Mack.
To your point, both these teams need to get the ball inside. Mack knocked it out of bounds. It's 14-2 Georgetown in the paint.
Miles Rice making a little crossover here. Perfect position there by Jeremiah Williams. And that's Mack. We're used to him knocking down three-point shots, but he's showing he's put on a little muscle there and able to finish through contact there.
275-pounder. 13 points a game last year. Another foul. Ed Cooley told us he wants his team to make more free throws than the other team's attempts. They are not on pace for that.
They're not. And part of that is we talked about earlier, Maryland were really aggressive, but allowing Georgetown to get dribble penetration, and they were also allowing them to get post action. Since then, man, that defense is really boned up. Georgetown cannot turn the corner, so it's forced them to take a lot of jump shots. On the other hand, Maryland has been willing to put the basketball on the deck and try to get to the basket. But much of that is good recognition by Mills. He knows that Langston Love has not played very much, and so he's going at him every time he catches the basketball.
What they get early right away from Andre Mills. They knew they liked him when he came to Texas A&M. Boston. But again, he wasn't going to get a lot of time last year, so he redshirted. But you know you're getting the energy and the effort, and he's making a lot of smart plays early.
Yes. Run down blocks from behind. We saw 2 of them in this last game. Had one tonight.
With a big deflection on the attempt from Iwachukwu. High advantage Coit working on the 7-footer. Now he switches back to Payne. 5 to shoot. They double. He found Saunders in the lane.
What a terrific play. There was no way he could see Saunders behind him. And able to throw a blind pass and a good finish inside.
Now Georgetown started this game on an 11-0 spurt 3 minutes in. Maryland starting to settle down on this end of the floor. Again, 5 to shoot. In the corner, it's Love for 3. Saunders saves it. Both teams 0 of 6. On the drive, the freshman Adams. Timeout, Georgetown. Well, it took a little time, but they have finally given the Gold Rush a reason to get explosive again.
Yeah, Maryland was settling for jump shots early in this game. Now they've been intent on getting that basketball into the painted area, whether it be a post-up or a drive. And they found big-time success in being able to do so. They've got to do that for the balance of this half because they're in the bonus. And so why settle for jump shots when you put that thing on the deck and try to get to the front of the rack? And they've done exactly that.
Well, and it's a get-to-know-you night, too, for Maryland. Again, the entire starting five, the entire team from last year is gone.
Yes.
It is 15 new players for Maryland, one of the 19 teams in college basketball that has 15 new players. Now those transfers for Maryland, along with those freshmen, take some time to gel. But again, I think it helps for Buzz Williams that 4 of those transfers came with him from College Station.
It does. And then you have a guy like Darius Adams, a super freshman, top 50 freshman, just trying to find his way. And you got a scrapper there, and Andre Mills, who's been absolutely terrific. Known as a downhill driver and aggressive defender, but he's shown the ability to be able to knock down some three-point shots as well here early in the season.
Out of the timeout. Georgetown was diligent in early start going into the paint. They do it right out of the break. Caleb Williams on the pass. And the big 7-footer from New Zealand.
When you can catch that ball in the post, everyone has a tendency to look at the basketball. You get a cut on the weak side, you'll be wide open. That's exactly what happened there.
Atkin's got his hands on every basketball when they're shooting near him. Deflections, block shots, steals.
Paint and post for Georgetown.
Smith takes it into the paint and rolls it in, and that has got to feel good for the Maryland transfer.
No question about it. We talked about it earlier. Against teams that get up and in you, you've got to put that basketball on the floor and try to get to the front of the rim, and that's exactly what he did there.
Good timeout for Ed Cooley. It paid off, back-to-back buckets and a defensive stop.
Really took the energy out of this building.
Who's going to make a three? Maryland 0 for 6. Georgetown 0 for 6. Darius Adams, not there. Now, Deshaun Harris-Smith, as a freshman, was a starter last year off the bench. Not a ton of offense. He's trying to change that in a different uniform. And Georgetown's up 9.
I used to struggle with the hand dripping.
That they are about each of their teams, and to see them continue to do it at a high level year after year. I've known both of them for about 16 years now, and they do it at an absolutely high level. So proud of those guys.
And we think about travel schedule.
Right.
Holiday, he's going to call this game tonight. He's going to get on the road tomorrow and do Maryland at Rutgers, 2:30 Eastern on FS1. That man has dedication to Terps athletics. Life-a-newer for 3. They want him to step out and shoot that. They want the 7-footer to take open looks.
I think he's better making those from the top than he is from the corner.
Both teams 0 of 7 from beyond the arc. Georgetown has dominated the paint. 8 of the 14 points for Maryland have been at the free throw line. Boyd lost his footing. He's got 4 to shoot. Adams. He's got 2, has to put it up. The extra pass and a shot clock violation.
With the exception of a few plays tonight, I think the physicality, the mature Georgetown team has bothered Darius Adams tonight. And he's a phenomenal player, and he's going to be awesome in the future. But you can see that he's going to need to get in the weight room a little bit to be able to handle that physicality going forward.
A.J. Lewis. Something happened on the handoff. He's grabbing his face. He lost his footing. And then a backcourt violation.
I was trying to see. Did he get poked in the... Oh, yeah, he's got an elbow from his teammate. That's what you do to me all the time over here, but people can't see it.
Well, no, yeah.
I'm playing hurt.
It's one of the reasons I love working with you, because you, as you're describing a replay, you actually do the same thing over here. So when you talk about someone using a body or shoulder or box out, I'm feeling all of your 6'8" frame.
But that last elbow you hit me with, I'm having a tough time seeing.
It was a love tap.
Okay.
6:30 to go here in the first half. Good opening week test. Great college basketball here on this first weekend of college hoops in the 2025-26 season. Miles Rice back on the floor. Isaiah Watts for three. Another foul on the box out, and Payne will go back to the line. He is just such a menace on the offensive glass, and that has been a staple. Buzz Williams' teams at Texas A&M the last 2 years, the best in the country at getting offensive rebounds.
Yeah, they haven't been the best shooting teams, and so what he did was saying, okay, if we're not going to be able to make shots all the time, then we got to be able to turn you over and get easy ones in transition, and we got to be able to get on the offensive backboard. Pharrell Payne does a terrific job of carving out space.
You mentioned earlier a career free throw shooter. His first 2 years at Minnesota, then Texas A&M. Career in the 50s. And he has started tonight 4 for 4. He is 13 of 13 at the line.
Folks, again, he was 51% for career from the foul line coming into the season. He's been putting in work. We even saw him stay after shoot around to get some additional free throws up this morning. That work has paid off.
They asked Buzz Williams about it. He talked to him about it. He said, nope, that feels like bad karma.
He sure did.
Whoa, he threw it up high, way too high. Miles Rice got downhill, find Watts. The former pair who started at Washington State before Rice left for Indiana. Payne on the drive, and he's fouled again. Caleb Williams picks up his third.
Folks, what you're seeing here is Maryland being intentional about getting Pharrell Payne the basketball. They like to post him. They'll put him at that free throw line area and allow him to be able to isolate against the opposing team center. And he has a strength and a foot speed advantage against almost anyone there. You're seeing that paying off tonight.
Well, he's such an efficient scorer, too. Well, Payne, as Williams will go to the bench with his 3 fouls. A 65% shooter from the floor last year. And again, you know, sometimes he started in the Big Ten, now back in the conference.
He knows who he is. You're not going to see him taking three-point shots. You're going to see him on the offensive glass, catching with 2 feet in the paint. And, of course, he's added this part to his game, being able to drive that basketball from the foul line area. Ball's got to touch the paint for Georgetown. Either off the pass or off the bounce.
KJ Lewis got a lot of offensive touches earlier. They have not found him the basketball yet as his half has worked on. Watts up ahead the floor. Whoa! The athletic block. We told you watch out for his athleticism. Mack on the other end is fouled. Jaden Ford never gave up on the play and tracked down Watts.
But we've seen some incredible athletic plays at the rim tonight. Mills early, and this time Ford reading it beautifully, able to get up and block that shot. What timing.
You know, you watch practice, and sometimes you're like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
You didn't see him last year, he redshirted. This guy, you know, Malik Mack. He's 5 here in the first half.
Jaden Ford, to your point, redshirted last year to just kind of adjust to the college basketball game, and he's the best athlete on this team, and you saw a little bit of that athleticism on that play there.
Them both. Georgetown 5 for 5 at the line. Maryland 12 for 14 at the line.
It's open. Missed it.
Found him late. One-on-one on the 7-footer. Kick out Rice. Open 3. Turkson fouled. Too much contact.
Tell you what, partner, Maryland lately has gotten some incredible looks from the three-point line, and they're just missing them. I mean, anytime you can get that basketball into the painted area, flatten out that defense, you can get a kick-out three, a step in, you can't get a better quality three than that.
Well, and a little surprising, too, Maryland hit 10 threes on Monday in Baltimore against Coppin State. That tied the school record for most threes in a season-opening game. So to come out tonight and start 0 for 9, Buzz Williams' team hasn't hit a shot in the last 4 minutes.
How about that? And they've got guys who can make them. Isaiah Watts can knock down threes. Miles Rice, Andre Mills, and they've just missed wide-open looks tonight.
And yet, despite all that, they're only down 7.
Yes.
Trying to get downhill. Rice got his hands in there. They'll tend to shoot. Oh, Max in trouble. Lewis lost it out of bounds.
That is a terrific job by the freshman Darius Adams, squaring him off, keeping his feet moving, not giving up the baseline. See how he keeps his body still in front of the basketball, and he has the length to be able to impact the dribble. Well done by the freshman.
Turnovers galore. Adams. This is the guy that's got to get going. He's the only one who's been able to create for himself. Iwachuku and a wedgie.
Excuse me, this is G-rated television.
Well,
We're not allowed to say that.
The new universal phrase. Thanks, Iron Eagle. They head to a break. 7-point game. Hoyas, Terps.
See us as a country embracing and trying to create resources to help them, because they deserve it, putting their lives on the line for us on a daily basis.
Just a special month or a special day, but certainly 365 days a year.
Yes.
Final 4 minutes of the first half. Maryland 3 of 17 from the floor. 0 of 9 from beyond the arc. Coit trying to knock in the first, and he does.
Folks, until that point, 14 of Maryland's 18 points had come from the foul line. And they desperately needed one to go down.
Well, Georgetown's got to take care of the basketball. Started getting a little bit more careless on this end. Everyone to the floor. There are 4 bodies on the floor. Jump ball, Georgetown possession arrow.
And to your point, partner, 4 turnovers for Georgetown in the last 5 minutes. And many of them have been unforced. And folks, if you don't think this is a rivalry game, you look at these kids give up their bodies and get on the floor and trying to take a possession or maintain the possession. These two teams are locked in.
I mean, if you don't play defense, you don't play for Buzz Williams or Ed Cooley.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually. Usually. Off the inbounds. It was on the floor. James Breeding called it at the top of your screen before Malik Mack took off to put that in.
That's such a smart play. The guy who's defending the basketball out of bounds has to have his hand straight up in the air, because when your teammate is isolated that way with his back to the basketball, you've got to be able to protect him. Didn't do it there. Now Mack's at the foul line.
Well, 1-and-1. Georgetown still perfect here in the first half at the line. Malik Mack, 5 points. 73% free throw shooter a year ago. Hits them both. Langston Love checks in for the second time. Deshaun Harris-Smith will trot to the bench. You know, every time Maryland has had a push and gotten this crowd back in, it's either been a couple of buckets or some free throws to kind of get the momentum back on the Hoyas side.
Yeah, mainly free throws. I agree.
Coit draws the defense. Turkson trying to bank one. Offensive rebound, and this is where Maryland's been dominant at the line. just getting there time and time again.
Darius Adams has such terrific feel. We know him more as a scorer, improving as a playmaker, but he just has a nose for the basketball. Realized that basketball is going to be coming off hot because of how hard it missed. Put himself in perfect position to be able to come up with that offensive rebound.
One of the highest ranked recruits in Maryland history, a season after Derek Queen. Helped lead Maryland to the Sweet 16. And they'll get a second. Be sure to stay tuned for the halftime report presented by Ram Trucks. Mike Hill, Casey Jacobson back in our studios. Get you ready for a big weekend in college hoops. It all gets going tomorrow noon Eastern. Alabama, St. John's, pair of top 15 teams.
Mike and Casey are the best. They treat me well when I'm out in LA. Thanks, guys.
I'm sure you'll get a text message in 37 seconds. You know you as well, LaFonso Ellis. Well, Georgetown hasn't hit a three. 0 for 8. Payne recovered and knocked it out of bounds.
That's a tremendous job by Pharrell Payne, getting up on the ball screen to the level of the basketball, folks, and the extra effort to get back to his man and take away what clearly would have been an easy layup. Great effort by 21 and gold.
On all these early season games, particularly in good games like this, establishing your identity, figuring out your culture, obviously building resumes.
Yes. And both of these coaches, you know, one of the pillars of their programs is physicality. And we've seen that here on the defensive end from both teams tonight.
A.J. Lewis had 4 early points. They really have struggled. That was still on the rim. It's offensive goaltending. There was an emphasis early in the first 2 or 3 minutes to get him the basketball. That has changed a bit.
Well, part of that is Maryland, when they increase the level of their defense, yeah, that's a good call. That's goaltending. Is kept him from being able to get to the paint because they're not only getting up into the basketball, but they're playing heavy gaps, so he doesn't have any gaps to be able to attack. It's a good adjustment by Georgetown.
Out to Rice. In his first game for Maryland, he has played 10 minutes off the bench. The kick into the corner. Oh, block! The second of the half by Ford. Mack in transition, draws contact, no foul. There's Ford on the offensive glass. Miles Rice is playing and he just threw his shoe. His shoe came off and he was playing defense with his shoe in his hand. It was like he was trying to swipe the ball with his shoe.
Oh, man. Savvy veteran. Oh, my gosh.
He's still holding.
Yeah, he is. Deep dribble penetration. I thought he should have stayed in the corner to take that open three. And what a reaction by Jaden Ford. We've seen him blocking one on the run down in transition and now blocking one on the inside. What an incredible athlete. It's number 0 in black.
Goes back in. Georgetown still perfect at the line.
Chukwu, 2 years at USC, St. John's last year, an athletic, physical rim protector, and he's exactly the kind of player that Coach Ed Cooley needed to fortify that middle.
First free throw miss. Teams have been great at the line tonight. Eric combined 21 of 24 at the line. Already he is staying all over Rice. Never left his feet. Shoes stayed on his feet. Payne the kick out. Mills.
Chukwu was open in the paint.
He still wants it deep in the paint. He and Pharrell Payne are having a big battle down low, big body.
It's fun to watch.
Lewis wants Iwuchukwu to close out and knocked out of bounds. Coy touched it last. It will stay with Georgetown. Let's go back to this. Miles Rice, watch him try to steal the ball with the shoe.
By any means necessary, partner.
I know tomorrow when we get big noon kickoff, Penn State, Indiana, we'll have our...
Oh my gosh.
Go to our rules official.
Was that intentional grounding?
You know, I know Terry Oglesby, the new head of the Big Ten officiating consortium, is in attendance. They're going to ask him at halftime, are you legally allowed to throw your shoe?
Oh, man. Really? Is that intentional grounding? Was he outside?
No, he was definitely inside the pocket, and it did not cross the line of scrimmage. No, 100%. So 1-1 here. Iwuchukwu back to the line. It's the first.
But the way Pharrell Payne and Iwuchukwu shoot free throws, it's such a luxury to have as a coach, because late in the game, you don't have to substitute those guys out and compromise rim protection and rebounding.
It's them both. And the luxury, too, for Ed Cooley to have a pair of seven.
Yes.
And you wonder later on in the season, in Big East play, time goes on, will we see them together on the floor?
You could.
That was Rice on the drive, and he's being held up by Kayvon Mulready. And so we're back to the free throw line for attempts 17 and 18 of the first half for the Terps.
And that's the difference that Miles Rice makes when he's on the floor. You can't get up and pressure him because he's so crafty with the basketball. And each time Georgetown's done it, he's made them pay. He's either gotten to the painted area and drawn a foul, or he's been able to get into the painted area, draw two, and kick. Such a steady player.
Not that you take away free throws from a half offensive production.
Yeah.
But if you take away free throws, Maryland has 9 points. 4 made buckets here the first half. But again, credit the game plan.
Yes.
Get downhill, get to the free throw line, because they're down just 6.
And remember, they were in the bonus early.
They're shooting free throws with 12 minutes to go in this first half. Iwuchukwu is bumped, and he'll go back to the line. Andre Mills got in his way. And a pair of free throws coming up.
Yeah, Mills saw it beautifully, but he's just a little late. A little screen and roll action there, and he didn't hold his position. Actually, he got there early enough, but didn't hold his position. Moved into the body of Iwuchukwu, and that's what the referees picked up. That's a good call.
Or 5 at the line. And Iwuchukwu didn't go to the line a lot last year at St. John's. Off the bench, played about 7 minutes a game, but he was 13 of 18 at the line, so a very capable free throw shooter.
What a commodity to be able to have bigs that can knock down free throws.
And he's going to play a lot more minutes than 7
indeed.
a game here in his senior season.
It was hard to get him last year playing behind that Brummel Bull at St. John's.
The Tino squad tomorrow on FS1 taking on Alabama. About a 7-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Maryland is 1 of 12 from 3, but Georgetown is 0 of 8 from beyond the arc. Trying to find Rice around the curl with 5. The step back. And he rolls it in. Georgetown's got 3. They got to push it up the floor. Lewis, good if it goes. And that is how the half will come to an end. The Hoyas started 11-0, and they go to the locker room up just 5.
Maryland raised the temperature on the defensive.
Darius Adams, you see him on the floor. He's at the bottom of your screen. He's wearing number 54. He wears number 1.
He just mouthed that his jersey was ripped.
Yep. Now they are at home. Little surprised they only have 1 here on the Gold Rush night. But you see 54 on the floor. It's Darius Adams, the freshman. KJ Lewis, tough. Again, the physical play, trying to draw the foul. Rice didn't start the game. He is starting the second half. Offensive board. Block inside. Now they're letting a little bit more go to start the second half.
Back-to-back physical plays in the post.
And that is the first made three for the Hoyas in the bowl game.
It's just a matter of time before Malik Mack able to find his range. 36% from three last year.
He went for the steal, didn't get it. Coy, he's the only one in the first half in the bowl game who hit a three. Lewis on the run. Drives it, Rice in the kick. Mack open again. Back-to-back triples, and it's back to an 11-point lead.
The early push created a paint touch, sink that defense in, able to kick it out for an open three. Well done by Georgetown in transition.
Just like that, they've matched their largest lead of the first half. A little bit more intentional. Nice find, and Payne is fouled. Alifa Nua picks up his third. He did not play a ton in the first half with foul trouble, just 8 minutes.
And that's the maturity that Miles Rice brings to the point guard position as he came off of that ball screen, snaked it, able to crab dribble himself into the lane, just waited until Pharrell Payne can get open and dropped it in underneath. That was pretty.
Still is not missed.
You know what's beautiful about what we see with Pharrell Payne? Each one of his free throws, it looks the same each and every time. And as I saw him early in his career, it was not. He's got the elbow and the wrist underneath the basketball, follows through each and every time with a nice flick of the wrist late.
And again, different coaching staff, certainly different roster. Julian Reese was a bad free throw shooter his first 3 years here at Maryland. And as the season went on last year, he was shooting in the 75–80% range at some point during the season.
Maryland switching all of that action across the top and on the baseline.
Deep triple, that just rolled out.
It's a good defensive possession by Maryland, not allowing any dribble penetration to the lane.
Rice is bodied and Lewis is called for the foul. That is the second on the transfer from Arizona. And again, you know, the sixth man, right, for the Wildcats last year, coming off the bench, provided offense, but really it is his defense that is what makes him stand out.
Yeah, he does a really nice job of contained defense, and he's really good at using his hands. If he, like, once you create separation, then he's really good at swiping down and trying to snatch the basketball away from you. Really good.
Adams trying to curl towards the lane. He is off. Just 3 points tonight for the freshman after a 16-point debut on Monday.
Keep an eye on Caleb Williams, number 4 in black. He rolled his ankle on that last possession. Hope he's okay.
He goes to the bottom corner. Lewis is fouled on the drive and the kick. So 2 fouls here on Georgetown in the first. That is the first on Maryland. It's on Payne, his second. Alifa Noah trying to follow his own miss. Somehow Caleb Williams found it and can't put it in. And the smallest guy on the floor came up with the board for Georgetown.
Wow. Missed 2 point-blank range layups. Missed opportunity there for the Hoyas. There's one there, able to stay active and keep it alive, and Caleb Williams gets a look at it and he misses it.
Chupu checks back in. Alifa Nua goes to the bench, and really an opportunity here for Georgetown in the second half. Again, not a season, just 2 games made. But with what happened in the exhibition here on the road in front of a hostile, near sold-out crowd, they are putting it on. Lewis back up 11.
And folks, that's why KJ Lewis is here at Georgetown. His ability to be able to keep his man in front. And we talked about whenever you create a little separation with him defensively, you got to be aware of the swipe down, able to swipe that one down and come up with a layup in transition. Excellent defensive play by number 5 in black.
And Maryland needs a timeout. They find themselves down double figures again earlier in the second half. Georgetown an 8-2 run to start this second half after an explosive start to the first half. And KJ Lewis, that's the 6th steal for Georgetown in the ballgame.
And to that point, Miles Rice had been doing a terrific job of driving against the aggressive defense, but that's what we talked about, is he has the ability, once he gets you to create a little separation, is using that offhand to be able to knock that basketball out and able to get out in transition and keep the momentum moving in the direction of the Hoyas.
6 points, 6 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of steals. And again, the start of the half, right? We came in, this building was electric. 2.5 minutes into the opening half, Georgetown was up 11-0. And then they start the second half. They hadn't hit a 3 in the ball game. And Malik Mack drilled a pair.
And Maryland's got to get back to doing what got them close in the first half. They've got to get that basketball in the painted area out of the bounce off the pass.
Nice cut off by Lewis. Boyd got Mack in the air. Lewis has his 7th rebound of the night. Crossed over, got the body, can't finish. That's been a little bit of a problem. They have not been able to finish near the rim.
Elijah Saunders has been quiet. He's got to get going too. He's usually good at the top of the key when they put him in pick and pop situations. He's been awfully quiet tonight. Number 13 in gold.
That is not an error. Maryland is shooting less than 20% tonight. Alfonso talked about this at halftime. 17 of their 29 points have been from the line. Mack with a game-high 16, and the Hoyas have their largest lead of the ball game.
Miscommunication there in their gap defense coverage. The gap man was a little too far away and able to recognize it. Mack able to get to the front of the rim.
Saunders is double teamed, and Iwachukwu knocked it out of bounds. Tough defense again. Maryland has won the home opener 48 years in a row. That is in danger here tonight.
This could be a good one, folks.
It's a Big Ten SEC battle on Fox.
Now on to the under-16. They do it here inside the Xfinity Center every ball game. The student section gets going. They unfurl the flag. Now we're going to see if this is going to help build some of the energy back up into this building.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, the reveal is awesome every game. And this student section, Alfonso, has been outstanding here in the home opener. Remember, Maryland played on Monday in Baltimore against Coppin State.
And they were here early and letting us feel their energy even before the game began.
And every time Maryland gets back to 2 possessions, they have been helping the squad along. But here it's been a tough going here in the second half. Was a 5-point game at the break. Georgetown has pushed it to 13.
Yeah, Maryland's gotten away from what got them back in the game in the first half, and that's getting that basketball into the painted area, usually with Pharrell Payne or off the bounce. They've been stuck on the perimeter. They've got to get that basketball inside.
Mayor Watts checks into the ball game, so too Andre Mills. They can get it inside, 2 to shoot. Rice hit the rim, Turks it, bats it around. And a 1 and done. Let's see if Georgetown goes back to Mack. He has 8 of their points, 8 of his 16 here in the second half.
Nice pass.
Williams on the kick, and he drills a 3.
That created by Halifa Nua's ability to be able to catch, look at the rim, saw that the help defender was underneath, and able to skip that one over for a wide open 3 for Caleb Williams. Beautifully executed.
Georgetown was 0 of 9 from 3 in the first half. They have hit 3 of their first 4. Watts, quick pass. Turkson lost it on the way up. Williams on the push, takes it all the way himself, and he's fouled.
Folks, it's such a help to have a big on a short roll situation be able to make a decision like the guards. He saw that the tag man was right in front of him, which meant that the weak side was wide open. Watch when he catches. Eyes go to the rim, sees the help defender there, and sees a wide open Caleb Williams who's able to drill a three from the right wing. That is beautiful offense there by Georgetown.
That's just the second miss at the line tonight for Georgetown. 12 of 14. The free throw shooting here for both these teams, very impressive. And a well-rounded game for Caleb Williams, despite playing with foul trouble as he's heading towards a double-double.
Ed Cooley was telling me that he needs him to make that sophomore jump and defensive rebound for a more versatile front court, and he's been terrific tonight. Not scoring a ton, but making the big plays when they need him.
And Georgetown's that balanced scoring. And another turnover. They are extending that pressure all the way out, and it is causing Maryland all kinds of problems. Now, Ed Cooley, and he said to us this morning, this finally feels like he's the coach of Georgetown. It's his third year, but he finally feels like he has the roster that matches his personality, and they are trying to build things back up.
And remember the size that he had at Providence on his wings. They were big and physical, and this group right here looks like an Ed Cooley old school Providence physical team here, but with the Georgetown Hoya uniform on, and they're showing it tonight.
Got the size in the front court like the old Georgetown old greats.
Yep.
Norman, Mutombo, Ewing. Certainly not necessarily the offensive punch. They provided that defensive spark tonight. Did not hit the rim. 10 to shoot. Williams saw it. Launches. Maryland just 2 points in the first 6 minutes of change here in the second half.
It's been that Georgetown defense.
Foul underneath.
But I do love what we saw there from Maryland. We've been asking for it all second half. That ball's got to get inside to Pharrell Payne. That's the first time they've given him a really good look here in this second half. And for them to have a chance to get back in this game, they've got to do that with regularity.
And they just drew the 4th foul on Julius Halaifanua. He will go back to the bench. But Iwachukwu's been the more effective player, so he almost come back with a benefit for Georgetown.
So making his free throws, greater length.
A lot of body, and Mills kept going and draws the foul. So it's now 4 fouls on the Hoyas.
And partner, where'd that come from? He's in the paint, putting his head down, bully ball inside, and drawing a foul. That's got to be the formula for Maryland for the rest of this game.
Jay Lewis picks up his third. To that point, Maryland tonight, Fonz outscored 22-6. Wow. In the paint.
How about that? And coming into the season, especially with Pharrell Payne on this team, you thought that they would be more of an inside-out team, and that's just not been the case. But that has been much to do with Georgetown's defense. Heavy pressure on the basketball, and not allow that basketball to touch the paint very often.
Chukwu holds it up high. Now Jeremiah Williams streaking towards to kick it back out. Lewis inside the arc for 2. We'll see if Maryland can get on the run, trying to get some easy buckets. Hoyt on the push. Oh, but 3 Hoyas around him.
I thought Mills should have taken that shot.
Now he's not in rhythm and all kinds of contact, and it's an offensive foul.
Partner, whenever you're playing against a really good defensive team, the first available look you get, you must take. Because if you don't, it usually ends up into a bad shot situation, as you saw there. Usually a turnover or a bad shot, and that time a bad shot.
Well, in case you were wondering, you're over on the sideline. I did give LaFonso an elbow, a forearm.
You moved me too. I moved.
Yeah. Well, you lost weight in your elbow.
No, you gained strength. to keep the positive.
I appreciate you saying that it's not the ice cream that we're eating as to why I'm gaining the weight. I do appreciate that. Oh, this has been a dominant start to the second half. Georgetown has opened this run 14-3, and remember, they started the ball game 11-0.
It's going to be difficult to use your defense to get Georgetown to turn the basketball over because they have so many playmakers on the floor.
Count it. Iwachukwu's going to the line for an opportunity for three.
Folks, what's happening is Maryland is switching all of that action, and Georgetown has such tall guards that they can see over the top. Anytime they see those smaller guards down there with their big, they are delivering that basketball quickly, and I love the quick move by Iwachukwu, not allowing the defense to be able to come in and time up. Offensive execution for Georgetown here in the second half has been superb.
No question. He's got 9 points off the bench. Balanced scoring tonight for Georgetown. Mack has led the way with 16. They've gotten contributions. 8 guys, and Payne will go to the line.
Two back-to-back possessions, 2 drives, 2 opportunities to get to the foul line. That's the formula for Maryland going forward. And partner with this group on the floor out there, Watts, number 12 in gold, Coit, number 8 in gold. And of course, he's wearing number 54 right now, Darius Adams. Those dudes can make 3-point shots. They've got to be able to make open looks when they get them, and they've not done that with any consistency tonight. We thought the early 3-point shots that they were getting were good quality shots, but recently they're getting some wide open looks that you just have to make. Otherwise, it puts so much pressure on your defense to try to be able to create opportunities or to get them on the offensive glass. And Georgetown's not surrendering any in either of those categories tonight.
That miss for Pharrell Payne, both of them, after he started the season 17 of 17 at the line. But now a pair of misses in a ball game that we have had 40 free throw attempts combined.
Those are what I call frustration misses. You're on your home floor, down 18, no offensive flow, can't create anything off your defense. They impact you psychologically, and I think that's why he missed those 2.
He was trying to get downhill. He lost the basketball and fouled.
Partner, this Georgetown unit that's on the floor right now, as you look around at their perimeter players, so much more physically built than what Maryland has, and they are taking advantage of it. They're driving them every time they get an opportunity.
You know, narratives around college basketball teams sometimes are, you know, the season, the culmination happens in March. But sometimes narratives for the season are built in November. And all these great interconference matchups. And again, you still have to build on top of that. But this is a massive statement for an early narrative about Georgetown being back.
When I look at the Big East, I say the Big East is going to get 5 teams into the NCAA tournament, maybe 6. I think teams like Georgetown, Providence, those are the guys that are going to be fighting for that last or the final 2 spots. And to your point, Georgetown is making a statement here on the road against a pretty good Big Ten team.
UConn, St. John's, season top 5. Creighton also in the top 25.
I would pick Marquette because of all of the players that they have returning would be the 4th or 5th best team in this league.
Tough 3. Maybe that gets the Terps going. Diggy Coit knocks in his 2nd of the night.
We just talked about it. Those 3 perimeter players from Maryland is going to have to make some open threes to get them back in this game.
Now they need to stop, and instead it's a foul. And Pharrell Payne picks up his 3rd, and Georgetown's going to shoot free throws the rest of the night. Maryland shell-shocked a little bit here at home in the second half.
It's Fox College Football.
Jump to the ball. High on our guys. That was a tough shot. That's a tough shot at the buzzer. Stay safe. Don't get bored with doing fundamentals. Jump stop. Drive 2, kick the 1. Catch with 2 hands. Hold on. Be disciplined. Stay aggressive. Stay tough. Hard catching. Hey, I said, hey, make the free throw.
Great stuff from Ed Cooley inside the huddle during that timeout. And the entire practice this morning, be physical.
Yep.
We're going to be physical. Be physical. Go ahead and knock them down.
Yes.
And they have put that on a display tonight here on the road.
They really have. Defensively, they've been able to keep the basketball in front, and when they've been able to get by the Maryland, the rotations have been solid. And anytime they've gotten to the rim, they've been able to challenge it.
Partner, when was the last time you saw a high major team with 6 made field goals as you head to 10 minutes in the ball game? That's where Maryland is. 6 baskets.
And it's been that physical defense of Georgetown is the reason.
Adams tracked down his own miss. A lot of this, though, a lot of one-on-one basketball. Payne tapped in. Elijah Saunders. He has 4, the transfer from Virginia.
They need him to get involved in this game with his pick and pop ability. Can get on the glass, can play in the post. He's been quiet tonight.
Mack is on the bench for Georgetown, his game high 16. It's deep in the shot clock. Who's going to take it? Lewis on the drive. Pharrell Payne collects his 8th rebound to go with 10 points. Coit, he's bumped. Well, just a couple of minutes ago, we had a 20-point ball game. But Diggy Coit's going to go to the line for a pair.
A little quick change of direction move while Elijah Saunders, number 13 in gold, had his man sealed on the inside, keeping him from being able to come over to rotate. And Diggy getting a little contact there, able to go to the line. And this is important for a team that was down as much as 18 to be able to put some points on the board without the clock moving, because, of course, the clock is your enemy as you get late in this game and you're down.
Diggy Coit began his career at Northern Illinois. He was an all-MAC scorer, nearly 21 points per game in DeKalb. And he transferred last year to Kansas, played 15 minutes a game, good three-point shooter. But maybe now this year coming off the bench, a chance to be a double-digit scorer again.
Yeah, they want him to be that spark plug coming off the bench. A 37% three-point field goal shooter for his career. How about average 247 three-point field goal attempts in his 2 years at
That's crazy. That is called free range.
Yes.
You have the green light. Across the midway point, Kalaifanua.
Gotta go.
Well, if Maryland can hit a 3, they'll cut this deficit in half. Adams. They just got too far.
Yeah, too deep.
Freshman struggled here tonight. Williams, he lost it. Harris Smith is tied up. And a foul called.
Jeremiah Williams there. A little strip down there by Diggy Coit. Yeah, that's a really good call. Miles Rice had his right arm all tied up. Crowd doesn't like it, but it's the right call.
Deshaun Harris Smith, last year a 50% free throw shooter. Hits the first. We saw some of this in the first half, right? The energy was hyped.
A little chippy, a little trash talking here. Like you and I do off camera.
We are friendly.
True. Talk a lot of trash, but we're friendly. You're right.
It's like last year, 50% on the trip. Maryland's got to get buckets almost every time down the floor. Coit, he went fast. Didn't hit Caleb Williams. He has cleaned up the glass. 8 boards. Mack back on the floor, in rhythm triple. Rice is fouled. That is the 7th on the Hoyas. So Maryland tonight, free throw shooting has come down in the second half, but 77% for the game. Will shoot the rest of the way. Both teams will.
Yeah, 18 of their points, 18 of their 27 points in the first half came at the free throw line, and they're still jawing here. The referee's going to have to say something.
They are still at it.
To get those two.
Yeah, we got a technical.
Yes. Take control of the game.
Yeah, James Breeding just came in.
Yep.
And we've got a technical on both players.
Miles Rice
and Deshaun Harris-Smith.
Deshaun Harris-Smith have been jawing the entire time for 2 straight possessions now.
So the technical fouls on both Deshaun Harris-Smith and Miles Rice are also personal fouls. So that is the 3rd on Miles Rice, maybe a little bit more impactful than the 2nd on Harris-Smith.
And I thought they were actually quite calm that time. It was the worst when it was down at the other end.
And Rice hits the front end of the 1-and-1, and this is what started it.
And that was on the previous possession down at the other end of the floor. That's when I thought it should have been called. With Jeremiah Williams as the elder statesman, number 25 in black, he's got to get between him and his teammate. They've done a great job tonight getting a big lead, and you can't give it back on something silly.
Rice has 11 points. 8 of those have come from the stripe. They're back within striking distance, within 12.
Need Malik Mack to make a play here.
Fanoa playing with 4 fouls. Open 3 in the corner. And Williams knocked it out of bounds. Maryland basketball.
That was the stop that Maryland needed. Now can they capitalize? It's been a while since they've gone to Pharrell Payne, number 21 in gold. I think he needs a touch.
Partner, it was 3 minutes ago that Georgetown led by 20. Maryland trying to slowly chip away and have a chance in this ball game. Work it down to Payne. Georgetown with the double team on the baseline. Blocked by Williams. Up ahead of the pack. Rice tracks him down and commits the foul. Tries to hold him up. That was a good basketball play. At least it looked like initially. They are going to go to the monitor and take a look at it.
In real time, I actually thought it was a clean block.
Well, we are inside of 8.5 minutes to go. They're going to go to the monitor.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that right arm just as he was getting close to the basketball, but in real time, I thought it was a clean block.
Previous players under review for a possible flagrant foul.
It was not a flagrant.
No, definitely not.
That's for certain.
Definitely not. But they are going to the monitor here with 8:27 to go. So they are taking a look at all the angles that they have. Wait, here we go. Jeffrey Anderson on the mic.
After further review, it's a common foul.
Yes.
2 shots for Georgetown.
That's the right call.
And that was done well.
Yes.
They looked at it. It was fast. We get the announcement in real time, and here we go.
I love that. I love that. When the key emphasis, he got him right there. That's where the foul occurred. Like I said, in real time, I thought it was a clean block, but that's a good call by the official.
Well, and remember, because of the technical foul being a personal foul, that is number 4 on Miles Rice.
Great point.
And so he is going to have to go to the bench. How long he'll sit, we'll find out.
And that's big because he's been one of the few perimeter players for Maryland who's been able to get into the gap and create offense for himself or his teammates.
And Fonz, that is free throw number 51 in this ball game between the 2 teams.
Been a little physical, huh?
Yeah, to say the least. You want to establish who you're going to be this season? I think they're trying to do that here on the defensive end. Saunders certainly capable. They haven't been able to get free to take the 3. He bulldozes Mack. Nothing called. He missed the shot. Pinball around. He's got it back. And a foul. So Elijah Saunders will go to the line when we come back. Well, you think it was physical between Lefty and John Thompson? Gary Williams, Johnny Rhodes on hand. Maryland and Georgetown, 14-point Hoyas lead. Start your Saturday strong. Second-ranked Indiana. Fernando Mendoza trying to keep that Heisman season going. Unbeaten, they're on the road at Penn State. It all starts with Big Noon Kickoff, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then it is Indiana and Penn State, Big Noon Saturday, only on Fox.
It's going to be interesting to see if big-time wide receiver Elijah Surratt is healthy.
Certainly. They were here at Maryland and put it on the Terps last weekend. And how about what's on the line tonight? 48 years in a row, Maryland has won the home opener.
Wow.
That last loss at home in the opener to one LaFonso Ellis' alma mater, Notre Dame. 1976, an overtime
Really?
loss. Not that you played for them in 76.
I feel that old.
It's the third longest active streak in the country. Only Villanova and Arkansas have longer home openers, but it is in serious jeopardy here tonight as Georgetown is led wire to wire.
And that's the difference between the two teams on the offense. Is Georgetown, every opportunity they get, they are in attack mode, in transition, attack mode in the half court. Maryland needs to do the same.
Knocked in a three. That's a big shot for Andre Mills.
We talked about earlier, those perimeter players from Maryland have to take and make three-point shots to help Maryland get back into this game. Now can you put together a couple stops, get a couple buckets, put some game pressure on the Hoyas.
Oh, what a play. Caleb Williams into double figures. 10 points, 9 rebounds.
That's Halai Fanua doing it again, catching that basketball in the foul line area and making terrific reads.
Bigman's got 3 assists tonight.
Come on.
Double Kane, found Watts. Oh, tough in the lane. And Georgetown's got numbers, 3-on-2. Mack pulls up.
I thought he should have given that basketball to KJ Lewis.
Boyd hits. He's got 10, back to 12. Timeout. And Payne is gassed.
He is.
Right at center court,
Yes.
He is gassed. He is slowing get to back to the huddle. There he is.
That kid plays so hard, never takes the play off. Ball screen coverage, offensive glass, posting, screening. He deserves to be tired, but he looks like he has nothing left.
But Buzz Williams is down to 1 timeout left, and you bring that up this year more so than in other years because this year in college basketball, coaches have a coach's challenge.
Yes.
Right? There are 3 things that coaches can challenge this year, but you have to have a timeout to be able to challenge.
Correct.
And so now Buzz Williams down to 1 timeout left in this ball game. And again, this is new to college basketball this year. No longer can officials go to the monitor at any point. And obviously last year was inside of 2 minutes, but they cannot go at out of bounds plays anymore. Basket interference, the restricted area, those are the 3 things that coaches can challenge. But again, you have to have a timeout to challenge.
You do, and folks, the way it's working this year, you essentially, you get 1, and if you win that challenge, then you get a second one, and then after the second one, it's over. But you make a great point about the timeout situation here.
Caleb Williams, 1 rebound away from his first career double-double. Lewis on the kick and the drive. Tough shot. Maryland a chance to get it back down to 10. Georgetown led by 20 with 12 minutes to go in the game. Watts has struggled from the floor. He's 0-4. Boyd with the fake.
Nice.
I mean, they did everything right on that possession except knock it down.
They have not been able to capitalize on some wide open looks off some dribble penetration.
then they committed the foul, Fonz, and it's the double bonus for both teams. In a very long college basketball game. We are well over 2 hours, and we still have almost 6 minutes left to play. Fouls on Watts. That was his fourth, so KJ Lewis line for 2. Miles Rice checks back in. He's got 4 fouls.
KJ Lewis as a guard has 9 rebounds in this game.
There have been a lot of missed shots. A lot of players have said
I wasn't going to say it.
Payne, Williams, Lewis. They all have at least 9 rebounds. And one opportunity. Right on cue. It's Pharrell Payne.
Partner, we talked about it in the last 2 minutes. Pharrell Payne needed to touch the basketball, and this time knows that his team is in desperation time. And I thought he got away with a little elbow there high. Should have been an offensive foul, but an opportunity for an and one here nonetheless.
Alifanua just fouled out. That was an aggressive take. Yeah, you're right, though, about the elbow being up high. Julius Alifanua has fouled out. Pharrell Payne to the free throw line. And, you know, you're wondering, Fonz, why he's gassed in this game? He has played 33 of a possible 34 minutes.
They don't have the depth to take him off the floor. And again, Elijah Saunders, who is capable, has been awfully quiet. That defense, that frontline defense of Georgetown has stymied his production tonight.
With the steal. He's got Mills trailing, takes it himself. It's down to 8.
Fonz, they have been working for 13 minutes to get it back to a single-digit game, and now they've got it.
Yeah, came out defensively with a little half-court trap, rotated, and even on the dribble penetration, Miles Rice did a great job of reading the eyes of the offensive player, jumped in the lane and able to get out to the races. And when you can get stops like that and get easy ones in transition, now all of a sudden your home crowd starts to get into it, and Georgetown finally starts to feel a little bit of game pressure. We've got ourselves a ball game now, partner.
Did you miss college basketball?
Oh, yes, sir.
This is fun.
So good to be back.
Great environment.
Come on.
Marquee programs. First week of the season. And the effort has been there from the get-go.
Feel this, man. It feels so good.
Well, and it's the start of the weekend for the student section, too. They got a long night ahead of them.
What are you suggesting?
Study period. 9 o'clock classes.
After hours.
Now, Maryland had 6 players on the floor. Now Coit had its issues. Coit had a substitution issue. So the officials now over to the scorers table say, hey, who was actually reported as being in?
Right.
Because they have 6 players on the floor. Diggy Coit went to the bench, but was he the guy that, if Elijah Saunders never reported in, he didn't. So Coit has to get back on the floor.
That's a big one, too, because now all of a sudden there's a mismatch in terms of size. Because now who guards Caleb Williams, number 4 in black? It'll likely be a perimeter player from Maryland. And Georgetown should try to seek that one out, see if he can take advantage of it. Yeah, 6'4" Meals guarding Caleb Williams.
Giving him the width of the body, too. It's not so much the height.
Yes.
approaching 5 minutes to go and an 8-point lead. Jeremiah Williams, great swing pass. Lewis hits a three.
Folks, that's a massive three. Only 19% from three at Arizona last year. And he's really struggled here early, but hits a huge one on the road.
Georgetown was 0 of 9 from three in the first half. They are 4 of 9 from three in the second half. Rice gets the bounce back to 9.
Got to continue to drive it against that man-to-man pressure of Georgetown. Half-court trap here.
Williams takes an early shot clock three. And I'm not sure he's the one you want shooting that corner.
Well, if you're Maryland, he's the one that you want to take that shot.
Rice again. And it falls again. He is trying to take over for the Terps in his Maryland debut. Lewis, nice find to a cutting Williams.
When you're playing against pressure, if you can get that basketball in the middle of the floor, you can find yourself 2-on-1 on the backside. Georgetown able to find Caleb Williams along the baseline. That was beautifully done.
Well, Payne on the drive, he's fouled. Iwuchukwu commits the foul, and Pharrell Payne, who has been on the floor almost the entire game, will go back to the line. Down the stretch, Fonz.
Yeah, Miles Rice starting to put his head down, able to get in the lane and lay that one up. Georgetown able to respond on the offensive end themselves. We've got ourselves.
If my healthcare provider had agent force, the power.
Now with 12 minutes to go, this was a 20-point game. Maryland has gotten the crowd back in the game, and Pharrell Payne's going to go to the free throw line as they have 3 minutes and 33 seconds to avoid Georgetown snapping one of the longest streaks in the country. Maryland, 48-game winning streak in home openers.
Wow.
Remember, their opener against Coppin State, normally a home opener, they played it on a neutral floor in Baltimore as part of the Hall of Fame Baltimore series. So this is the home opener, a much tougher opener than Monday night. And it is in jeopardy here against the Hoyas team that is led for the entire ball game under Red Cooley in year 3.
Got up 11 in the first half and came out here and started to create a little bit more separation early in the second. But Maryland, man, they've continued to fight and able to get to the line and put points on the board without the clock moving, which is so important late in the game when you're down.
Double-double for Pharrell Payne, the 8th of his career. He had 2 last year at Texas A&M, and it's back to 7. He and Miles Rice have their last 12 points.
Three-quarter court pressure here. They're going to look for some traps. And if they trap it, they've got to get the basketball in the middle of the floor, and they'll find a 2-on-1 on the backside.
Back through the contact, no whistle. Got the offensive board. Takes the three, drills the three. What a shot by Mack.
That's an absolute backbreaker when you play good defense and can't come up with the defensive rebound and you give up a three.
Rice again. And Iwuchukwu threw it off of Miles Rice. And he comes up limping. And remember, Halifa-Nua has fouled out.
Yes.
So Iwuchukwu to the bench.
Iwuchukwu did a really nice job of walling up there and maintaining his verticality and able to block that one and throw it off Miles Rice's legs.
Georgetown 5 triples this half after going 0 for 9 in the first half. Up by 10, trying to milk the clock a little bit. Mack into rhythm. Almost hit again. Rice on the drive, split the defense. Caleb Williams the rebound, his first career double-double.
He's really played a solid game tonight, Caleb Williams. On the glass, knocked down a three. Playing along at baselines, made some good passes as well.
time it's KJ Lewis. Oh, it hit Payne's foot. Down to 2. Mack into the backcourt. And a shot clock violation. You know, it almost looked like he was about to take a timeout.
It
looked like he signaled for a timeout.
Yes.
But they did not recognize the timeout. That's almost a good thing. I don't know that they would have scored with 1 second on the shot clock.
Yeah. And how about the hustle from Andre Mills? Fort's having an issue here. I can't tell if he's bleeding or number 0 in black.
Yeah, they're going to... Ed Cooley's out on the floor. He's asking him what happened.
Yeah, he looks a little dazed.
Bring the trainer out.
I wonder if he took a blow to the nose. He looks dazed out there. Hope he's okay.
Well, Georgetown's going small. The Lifanua fouled out. Iwachukwu's on the bench because he was struggling to walk when he went back on the right stoppage.
Yep.
At the offensive board, they batted it off the glass. Blocked from behind and a foul. Jeremiah Williams came over the top.
I love the recognition from the Maryland guards, though, recognizing that Payne had a mismatch from the underneath out of bounds, threw it over the top. Payne went up strong, couldn't quite get it, but able to fight and come up with the second possession. Got fouled and put himself on the line.
Just refusing to be denied.
Look, the hardness, toughness of this kid. We just looked at him at half court and thought he was done.
Yeah.
And he was gassed, and he just continues to get after it.
You know, it's weird tonight to look at Georgetown and not see a 7-footer on the floor.
True.
I don't know that they played more than a minute tonight without at least one of their 7-footers on the floor. Back to an 8-point game, less than 100 seconds to go.
Well, with this lineup out there from Georgetown, it's hard to trust this group because you essentially have 5 ball handlers out there on the floor. So you got to be strong with the basketball and attack off the dribble.
Lewis strong with the basketball and did exactly what you just said. Darius Adams called for the foul. So Lewis tonight will go to the line. He has 14 points to go along with 9 rebounds, couple of steals. And he has been all over Maryland's perimeter on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's taking the challenge no matter who it's been who's had the basketball in their hands, and he's made all of them uncomfortable when they've had the ball on the offensive end. And that's what Ed Cooley was hoping for when he brought him to the Hoyas roster, is a guy who can be a two-way guy, who can take the opponent's best offensive perimeter player, shut that person down, and still be able to give you 12 to 16 points on the offensive end as well. He's had a very strong game tonight.
Maryland tonight is it. Just 4 threes, and Miles Rice, the double team came, got through it. That's a wide open look for Coit. Foul called. Georgetown thought they got away with a travel.
And partner, as this, not only for this game, but as the season goes forward, when you look back at the tape here for Maryland, you're going to see how many wide open looks they got at the basket from 3. If they're going to win games and make a statement in the Big Ten, they've got to be able to make open shots as Jeremiah Williams fouls out of this game.
He is the second Hoya to foul out.
Maryland is now 4 of 20 from 3, and they have much better shooters on the floor than what they've shown tonight.
Well, all that depth that we have seen for Georgetown tonight starting to be tested a little bit. The 2 7-footers, one is fouled out. Lifanua, Iwuchukwu's dealing with leg issues on the bench. They are wrapping his right leg on the bench. Jaden Fort got knocked in the head. He's over on the side. So all of that now tonight for Georgetown. They have done so much to have control of a game. Fonz, this has not been a one-possession game after we were a minute into the game.
Yes.
But they got to close it out.
Indeed. And that's what helps having a guy like Caleb Williams, 6'7", 227 pounds, who can play a small ball 5 for you, especially if you're playing against a team who doesn't necessarily, who may have a dominant post player, but a team that doesn't shoot it very well. Now you can collapse your defense and give a lot of help, and that's why Pharrell Payne hasn't been able to have a huge second half down in the box.
Well, if you think about Georgetown, Thomas Sorber last year, first-round pick. They had Micah Peavy.
Yeah.
Last year, now part of the Pelicans roster with Maryland's Derek Queen.
40th pick in the NBA draft, yeah. Sorber was 15.
We had both those guys on a team that went from, 2 wins in the Big East in Ed Cooley's first year to 8 wins in the Big East.
And had Sorber not gotten hurt, they could have had more.
Certainly. Big part of that middle part of the season. And here with a minute to go, they are looking for an impressive road win. Rice hits the first. He is 9 for 9 at the line tonight.
So Miles Rice hadn't played in the preseason, and so tonight was his first game. So now you can get a glimpse of what you're going to get from him all season long. You know what you're going to get from Pharrell Payne, but can you get some perimeter shooting from the rest of your guys to bring balance to that offense? That's going to be the big question for the Terps going forward.
Adams out, Mills in. Maryland has been working uphill the entire second half.
See if you can get a trap in the backcourt and a steal. If not, you got to foul right away.
Elijah Saunders trying to give the foul, and now he does. So that is his 4th. And between the two teams, Fonz, that is foul number 49 tonight. 49.
I don't know if I've ever been involved in the game, either as a player, coach, or a broadcaster that's had that many fouls. Is that clock right? Is it really 8:26?
Yes. Regulation. Well, we just said it, 49 fouls. 65 free throws.
You sure we're still in regulation?
100%. Okay. The game hasn't been tied. It has been physical,
yes, it has.
No question. And we do have football coming up when we are done on FS1, speaking of physical. And we will catch you there. Houston and UCF coming up when we are done here. Rice going fast. Caleb Williams the block.
Here's that small ball 5 we talked about earlier. What a luxury.
And that is foul number 50. And maybe Georgetown can start celebrating over there.
I mean, with all the 7-footers in foul trouble, it's Caleb Williams who's had a superb night, able to go vertical, keep his verticality, and block that shot at the top. 14 points, 10 rebounds, a block. He's had an incredible game tonight.
Timeout taken. The final timeout tonight for Maryland. Ed Cooley has 1 remaining. Well, Georgetown made some waves when they went to Kentucky Rupp Arena in their final exhibition game and knocked off the Wildcats. And they are certainly continuing that strong performance here tonight on the road.
Yes, indeed. And I talked to Ed Cooley earlier, and he said he needed Caleb Williams to take that next step. And I know it's only 1 game, but he's taking that next step. I mean, he's playing his normal position as the 4. You get both of your 7-footers in foul trouble. He has to play a little small ball 5. He's impactful there. And you look at this Georgetown team, and Ed Cooley's done a brilliant job of bringing together this. Last year, he was one of the youngest teams in the country. This year, he didn't want to recruit any freshmen. He wanted to go out and get some seasoned guys who've been on teams that have won. And I look at this group, man, they're big across that front line. They have huge wings. They beat Kentucky in the exhibition season. This Georgetown team is making a statement early to all of college basketball.
Well, and they're going to be tested because next weekend they'll have Clemson.
Yep.
They're going to have a tournament down in Florida. They'll play Dayton. They may see BYU.
Yes.
Or they'll get Miami. So Ed Cooley's squad. And he told us, hey, look, I think I have a team that might make the tournament, so we scheduled that way.
And it's wise to do that because last year I think their strength of schedule in the non-con was like 300 plus, and this year that's definitely going to be top 25. And man, has he done a brilliant job putting a group together that plays so well, interchangeable parts, able to keep the basketball in front out on the perimeter, and then have guys on the inside when you do get through who can come and challenge and at time erase shots at the rim.
Well, and you got to assume at some point too, Georgetown's not going to be at 20% three-point shooting all year.
Great point.
In the first two games, at the moment, they're 9 for 46 from three. Adams rolls out. Malik Mack pulled it down. That is his 8th rebound.
Another missed wide open three for the Terps.
Shot clock turned off. Maryland will not foul. And Fonz, for the first time since 1976, Maryland loses a home opener. Mack led the way for the Hoyas with 19 points. And Georgetown with a statement win on the road. 70-60 here for Ed Cooley with an early 2-0 record, ruining Buzz Williams' debut at the